Hi, my name is Janice Wolf, and today I'm here to talk to you about memorial gardens. I have two memorial gardens in my yard at this time. This one was put in about 3 years ago, and my mother passed away in 2017. We placed it in this particular spot in my yard because of this large rock that we already had here. So I kind of worked with the landscape and chose the spot based on that. So it actually is in a teardrop shape, which is maybe hard to see if it's not an aerial view, I understand. And that was done on purpose. This particular garden is a collaborative effort. My mother's sister, as well as myself and my two sisters, it was our idea to do this, and everybody brought in a plant that symbolized something that they felt my mother would have liked. So we have a whole menagerie of different kinds of plants in here, and I couldn't even begin to name all of them. But the idea overall was to try to have color all the time. So we do have lilies that are in bloom right now. The hydrangea should be in bloom. I'm not sure what's going on with it. The grasses are tall. We had phlox in the spring down here. These ones just stopped blooming. Bleeding hearts in the back. The lavender, I'm sorry, is in full bloom right now. So the idea pretty much was to have some type of color from spring to fall. We have some bee balm that I actually got from Carol Luckenbach that I planted in here. So that should give me some color. I'm believing it looks like in August. And then there are black-eyed Susans over there that will give us some color in the fall. So in addition to those items, which all had different, again, came from different parts of my family, and I've added in a few things as things have died. That's where something was there where the bee balm was, so I had to replace that. I have one now that has passed this year that I haven't yet replaced, but I need to do that. So I have had to maintain that over the last 3 years, but it is filling in pretty nicely, and it's done a good job. We also included some personalized items. So the grandchildren each made a stepping stone. This one was from my niece and nephew Ryan and Shannon, and then they had just put Miss You on it and they decorated it. So each set of grandchildren did a stepping stone like this. Those stepping stones you can pick up at a Michael's or a Walmart or Target. They're very easy to do at home. They come with everything you need. So we like to use them. So we have a few of them around this garden from the grandchildren as well as two from my sister. We also have two flags in this garden. The Forever in Our Hearts is actually on my mother's grave. So my aunt had found this flag, said, oh, this is perfect. We're gonna put that in. And this cross came from my sister last year, actually. She got it through a church. Someone at her church was making them. So she gave it to me to say, this should go in Mom's garden. So we add to this. It's something that's in the back of everybody's mind. I send them a picture of it every spring as it starts into bloom, and said, Grammy's back. Here it is. So it's a nice place to come. My mother, the way her grave is, we can't tend to it. It's a flush to the ground grave. So this is something we can tend to. We can buy things for it. We can fix it up. I can weed it and add plants to it, which helps with the grieving process. So that's what I have found personally, and obviously it's in my yard, so I do the most work for it. But again, my sister and my aunt find things, and hey, this should go in the garden. So it's a nice reminder of my mother every day that we get to see, and then when my sisters come over, they get to look around and watch it and see it grow, and it makes everybody feel good about that. So that is that's one memorial garden. This is in my front yard. This one over here we put in this spring, so this is only a few months old. This garden is we ripped out some bushes and we also kind of had another rock in the yard, so we utilized that to swale that garden out. This garden we did for our pets that have passed on. So the children gathered rocks in our yard and we painted them. So this is an example of one of them that was from our cat, who passed away in 2017. They painted the rocks, and then what I did, that one is for our guinea pig. And then what I did was I sealed them so that they can withstand the rain and everything like that. So we spent, I don't know, a couple days doing that during COVID-19 shutdown. We cleared this area, and we did the rocks and picked the plants. And again, the plants here are not as personalized, I would say. Here I picked things I liked and things I knew grew well in my yard, with some exceptions. These red flowers are something brand new to me that I haven't used before. But the idea again was spring to fall flowers. Something's in bloom at all times, which is what I love. I love to come out here or drive in and see something in bloom from spring to fall, and see what's coming next and that type of thing. So that's pretty much how I plant all my gardens. But these particular memorial gardens, this is what adds to them being memorial versus regular. We also have a flag in this garden that has a dog on it that says welcome. So that flag is tailor-made for this particular garden. And yeah, so it was a nice way for us to show our pets and remember our pets and memorialize them. As you can see, there's rocks and stepping stones kind of all throughout. And this is something we can add to, unfortunately, as our current pets also will, eventually pass away. So we will then create a memorial stone or rock for them that we can add to the garden. So it will always be a work in progress. So that's memorial gardens. And again, I use those to deal with grief. I think for me, gardening is that caretaking component. So I like it because of that. I can no longer take care of that dog anymore, but I can tend to the garden and weed it, make sure the stones are in order. Can't care for my mother anymore, but I can replace plants that die in there. That type of thing I felt has helped me move through the grief process and still have that little piece of them with me. So I hope you've enjoyed our talk about memorial gardens, and you'll feel confident in starting one yourself if you feel the need to. Thank you so much.